Welcome back to the Cozy Rosie Crochet channel. I'm extremely excited to have you here with me today because we are going to be making some front post and back post stitches as we create this basket weave square. This stitch is notoriously easy, believe it or not, once you know exactly which way is which from the front and the back when you're working your stitches. I have every confidence that you're going to nail it really quickly, and if you don't, I'm here to help you. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and of course the notification bell so that you never miss out on another one of my crochet tutorials again. Let's find out the materials we need to make our basket weave square. So the materials that you're going to need to make your very own basket weave square is any Aran or worsted weight yarn. Now I'm using, of course, my PaintBox Yarns Simply Aran, and it's 100% acrylic. I'm sticking to the same material or the same fibre content throughout all of my blanket, just in case if I need to wash it, there's going to be no differences in those washing instructions. Now this is a size 4 yarn, and I'm going to be using shade number 242, which I believe is Tea Rose. I really love this colour. It's kind of like a pinky purple, which is, my kind of ideal combo. We're also going to need the corresponding hook size for the weight of this yarn, which for me is going to be a 5mm crochet hook. I'm using my furls for a change, just because it means I've used the same hook throughout all of my blanket. Now I've got a pair of scissors and a darning needle to hand so that I can get those ends woven in once this is all finished. So gather all of your materials and let's get started. So to make our 8" by 8" square, we're going to be working in rows and we need to create our starting chain. So I'm just going to make a slip knot and place that onto my hook. And then we're ready to make our starting chain. Now our chain needs to be a total of 31 chains. So we're just going to yarn over the hook and bring it through 31 times to get our correct number of chains. So make your chain of 31 and I'll meet you back here in a moment. So once we've made our chain of 31, we're going to go straight into the basket weave pattern. So the basket weave is made by working sets of 4 of the front post stitch and sets of 4 of the back post stitch. But for this first row, we're going to start by setting our base row of double crochets up. So we're going to yarn over the hook and we're going to work our first double crochet into that 4th chain from hook. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Once we've inserted our hook, we yarn over and bring our loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So these skip chains actually count as our first double crochet, so we've already made number 2. We're going to work 1 double crochet, that's a US double crochet, into each of the chains across. And at the end of row 1, we're going to have a stitch count of 29 double crochets. So continue to work 1 double crochet into each chain across and I'll meet you at the end of row 1. So I've just worked my final double crochet into that last chain. You're going to have a quick count and I'm going to remember to count this first chain 3 as a double crochet. So you have worked 28 double crochets and this chain 3 here is your number 29. Going into row 2, we're going to start the basket weave pattern. So we start with a chain of 2 and that counts as our first double crochet here and throughout the pattern. The reason we're not doing a chain 3 is it just helps to keep our edges really neat in this pattern. So we're going to yarn over the hook and then we're going to work a front post double crochet around the next 3 stitches. So rather than into the stitch, we're going to work around this post of the stitch. If I pull my fabric apart, you can see that behind there is the 2 spaces around the post of the stitch. This is the top of the stitch where those 2 loops are, and this is the post. So we're going to yarn over the hook and work a front post double crochet. So that means that we insert the hook from the front back out of the front. So for me, I tilt my hook down, go under from the front and back out of the front of the stitch. Yarn over, bring my loop through, and then we complete our double crochet as normal by yarning over, pulling through, yarn over and pulling through. We're going to work a front post double into the next 2 stitches as well, around the 2 stitches. So we're going to yarn over, insert from the front of the fabric and back out of the front. We yarn over, bring that loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2, and we do that for a third time around the next post. So we yarn over, insert from the front, come back out of the front, bring that loop through, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now people tend to prefer the front post stitch as opposed to the back post stitch, and you're probably about to find out why. We're going to work a back post double crochet around the next 3 stitches, and as you can imagine, if we do the front post we come in from the front, and if we're doing the back post we're going to come in from the back of the fabric. So we start by yarning over, and we're going to tilt our hook and go behind our fabric. I'm making sure that that loop stays on my hook, and we're going in through this hole here because this is the post we're going to work around. So we're not coming in here because that means we'll work around that post. So we've worked this post here, as you can see. So we've yarned over the hook, come through the back of the fabric, find the other side of that post and come back out of the back. Now I actually tilt my work a little bit so I can see what I'm doing, and then we're going to yarn over and gently pull through. That's the fiddliest bit. If you can get your hook back through with all your loops on, because you want to see 3 loops here, you've done it right. We're going to yarn over and complete our double crochet as we have before. So we pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Let's do another couple of those together because we need to work a back post around the next 2. So we yarn over the hook, we're going in from the back of the fabric and back out. We've got 2 loops on our hook at the moment. We're going to yarn over and bring through and up that next loop. So we now have 3. We yarn over, pull through the first 2, pull through the first 2 like normal. I'm going to do that once more. So we yarn over the hook, insert from the back of the fabric, so it's almost going to poke you in the eye, come back out of the back of the fabric, so you've got the post on top of the stitch, yarn over, bring that loop back through, pull through 2 and pull through 2. So from here you can't really see exactly what's going on, but if you have a look from the side a little bit, you see that these stitches that we worked the front post stitch on are now kind of coming towards us, and where we worked the back post stitches, they're almost got a line in front of them where the stitches worked behind the row. So we're going to continue to repeat working 3 front post double crochets and 3 back post double crochets all the way to the end, and then we're going to work 1 double crochet into our turning chain. So if you want to stay with me you can, and we're going to work a couple more of these together, or you can carry on with your second row and I'll meet you for row 3. So for that front post double crochet we yarn over the hook. This time you can see that we've worked around this post here, so we need to come through the front to work our front post double, and you'll see I'm kind of letting that post sit by itself so I can automatically bring my hook back out of the front because we're doing that front post double. We yarn over, bring that loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Let's do another one of those front post doubles. So this is the post you want to go around, so I've got the other ones covered. Insert from the front and back out of the front, bring a loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2. Let's work that third front post double. So we're coming in from the front, back out of the front, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2. So that's us worked another 3 front post double crochets. You can see 1, 2, 3 coming out towards us, so there are front posts. Let's work the next 3 back post doubles. So you can see that we've worked around this post, but now this next one we're going to go around the back of it. So once we've yarned over the hook, we're putting our hook behind, making sure that that loop stays on our hook, come through that next space and back out around the back of our fabric. Bring your hook through, so you should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over the hook, we're coming back out of the back, yarn over, bring that loop up, pull through 2, pull through 2. Going to do 1 more of those back post. So we come out of the back, around that post and work our double crochet. So continue to work that all the way along, and I'll meet you at that last stitch where we're going to work our final double crochet in the top of that turning chain. So the next one you're going to do is the front post, which is coming towards you. So you insert from the front and come back out of the front. And I'll leave you to continue. You can re-watch row 2 if you need to keep working your front post, back post double crochets. So I've just worked my last front post double crochet, and then we're going to work 1 double crochet into the top of that first chain 3 that we made, and that ends row 2. Let's say it's the first row of setting up our front posts and back posts. So you should be able to see more clearly on your own square now where the front posts are and where the back posts are. From this angle you can see that the front posts are facing up and the back posts are almost dipping back, and that's what causes or creates the basket weave look of this square. Now something magical is going to happen when we turn our square, and I think you'll enjoy it. We're going to start by making our chain of 2 because we're repeating row 2 here. So once we've done our chain of 3 and you turn your work, those front posts that we had turn into back posts. Now because we've established our pattern here, we're going to continue to work where that they are towards the back. This is why we can repeat row 2. So where these back posts are, we're going to work our front posts. So we yarn over the hook, we've done our chain 2 that counts as our double crochet, and then around this first square we work our front post double crochet coming out of the front of our fabric. And we do that across the next 3 stitches. And then where we have these back post stitches coming towards us, we're going to work around the back of those posts. So we insert from the back and back out of the back and working those double crochets as normal. This is a great stitch rather than having to remember what you're doing. If you've set up your first row correctly, you can just follow. You're doing the opposite of the stitch that's in front of it. So when we turn that around, you can see you've got your basket weave stitch starting to formulate there as well. So because these stitches are towards the back, we're going to work a front post double crochet around. So we insert from the front out the back, working those double crochets around the front of that post. So we're just going to repeat that the whole way down. When we have a front post which faces towards us, we work around the back of it. And then we have the back post going away from us, we work that front post. Oops. So it's almost the opposite we do when we do crochet ribbing. When you do crochet ribbing, you work the front posts on top of the front posts and the back posts on top of the back posts to create longer strands of ribbing. But with the basket weave, we're almost working the opposite stitch on top. So these are the going backwards, so we're going to come back out the front this time. Or you can just do 3 front post double crochets followed by 3 back post. But I don't know if it's just the way my brain works, I like to know what I'm working. So you can see that it's really establishing that pattern. So keep repeating that all the way down, and I will meet you at the end of row 3. And once you've worked all those front posts and back posts, we just need to work that last double crochet into the top of that turning chain of 3. And we're going to keep repeating row 2. So we chain 2 and turn, and we're going to see how those stitches have gone to the back. We start by working 1, 2, 3 front post double crochets, followed by 1, 2, 3 back post doubles. So we're just going to keep repeating that pattern, and it will create that most wonderful basket weave. But after this row, that basket weave pattern really becomes much more apparent. So we're going to continue to repeat row 2 for a total of 18 rows. We've already worked row 1, 2 and 3, and I'm into row 4, so I've only got 14 more rows to go. So keep working those repeats, remembering you're working 3 front post doubles followed by 3 back post doubles. Once you've completed your 18 rows, come on back and we'll do the edging on this square, ready to fasten off and weave in those ends. So I've just finished my 18th row of this beautiful basket weave stitch. I hope you've fallen in love with working these front posts and back post stitches, because they're used quite a lot in different types of crochet patterns to create different types of stitches. And this is a really good introduction into working a pattern in it. And plus it's super squishy and really nice. We're going to move on to our edging. Now this is of course optional. This is a very firm square. You don't necessarily need to work an edging on this because you have nice stitches all the way around, and it would be easy enough to join this. But if you would like to do an edging on your square, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it and show you a few of them. If you've been following along with the Hodgepodge blanket crochet along, it's the same edging in all the squares, just sometimes the number of stitches changes a little bit, but that's not going to be a problem when we join them overall. Don't worry, I'm going to show you the tips for that. So I'll get you started on this edging. So we start with our chain 1, and we're going to work into the end of each row and around that last stitch in the row as well. So there's like a little hole that's the end of the row, and then we need to work in around that post as well. As always, what we're looking for is for our stitches not to bunch up the width of our square too much, because these are double crochets, so we should be doing 2 single crochets into the end of each row. Some of them are tighter than others. And we're going to work all the way down to our first corner. Here we're going to place our corner stitch. So what we've been doing so far in all of these granny squares is working the same corner, which is 1 single crochet and a chain 1 and a further single crochet all into that corner space. I'm trying to get there for you. I'll be back when I'm in the corner. So I've reached that last stitch, which is actually the first chain from our foundation that we worked earlier. And this is where we work that corner stitch. So we work a single crochet, a chain 1 and a further single crochet. And we repeat that the whole way round. We work along the bottom of our chain. In the next corner we work 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 single crochet. So I've done my first corner over here, which was a single crochet, chain 1 and a single crochet. I then worked into each of the chains across the bottom, and I've worked my next corner where my tail yarn is, and I'm just going to continue working 1 single crochet into the ends of these rows and around those final double crochets at the end of these rows as well. And just continuing to work all the way back up to the top. Oops. I'm going to work another corner when I get up here, so you keep working and I'll meet you there. So I'm back into my next corner, working 1 single crochet, a chain 1 and a further single crochet. And now that all that's left to do is to work back across the top of this square, working 1 single crochet into the top of each stitch across. So keep working across and I'll meet you in our final corner. So I'm back to my final corner. So I'm going to work 1 single crochet, a chain 1, another single crochet, and then finally I'm going to slip stitch to that first stitch that we made, a little chain 1, ready to grab those scissors, leaving a nice long tail to weave in, and then we are ready to weave in those ends. I really hope that you've enjoyed making your own basket weave stitch square. I certainly have enjoyed showing you. I love these post stitches. I really love the way that this stitch works up, and it's a great introduction to working more different stitch patterns with these front post and back post stitches. If you haven't already, make sure that you've hit that subscribe button so that you can get tomorrow's square directly notified to you, because there are more squares coming and I cannot wait to share them with you. I really hope that you're enjoying taking part in the Hodgepodge blanket crochet along. I will see you tomorrow for another stitch tutorial.